What is up, Bacon Bits of the Peppa Pig Lounge?
Hello, bacon bits of the earth.
Bacon bits, yes. Oh, I might actually
That's
use that.
unironically like so hard though.
I'm Broskim, and today I'm going to be going over the Peppa Pig rule changes for Season 9. In case if you don't like reading, I don't like reading either, and sometimes I would rather just watch a quick video. So that's what this is for. Alright, we have a bunch of edited rules. We're going to go over them really quickly. First off, 1B.5. Before it just said you may not vote to reroll after a certain thing. Now it's just the voting is gone, so we updated it to say that. Next up is the very next rule, 1C. Basically now, after the format is rolled for the final time, the format that's being confirmed, the host has to get the room up within 7 minutes after that. Just sort of to speed things along, because that was taking a while sometimes. And then 1D. This one I've talked about a lot, and we're finally implementing it, and I'm really excited. We are officially removing pens for joining late from the rules. So instead what we're going to do is we're just going to force start the room. If you don't make it in time, we're just starting the room, because sometimes, unfortunately, people will can and then they won't join the room intentionally. So just sort of a way to keep things going. So the exact rule is basically giving the force start time, but instead of it being 2 minutes after the player count, it is now 5 minutes after the player count. So 6 players plus an extra 5 minutes would be 11 total minutes. 10 players would be 15 minutes. And 12 players would be 17 minutes after room's up to before force start, basically. Moving on to 1J, which is, in my opinion, the biggest rule change of the entire season, so listen up. This rule talks about the ways players can join the Mogi after a room has already been put up, and it is a whole lot different than before. Here's how it works. So, once the room is up, new players will be able to can and join, but force start will remain at the same time. In other words, if there's 6 people in the lineup as the room is open, no matter how many people can after that, force start will still be 11 minutes after room's open, which is the amount for 6 players. But here's the big catch. The host is allowed to start without the new players if everyone from the original LU is in the room. But if everyone canned before room was up is in the room, then they can choose if they want to not wait till force start. This is an option, and our hosts are allowed to do basically whatever they want in that situation. And if the host does decide to start early, then the people who canned after that did not make it in the room will not get 0 on the table. They will be completely ignored, which can also affect gains and losses. Next up is Rule 2B, which was removed just due to it being kind of outdated. And then 2C was edited to specify that no matter what the format is, not only should My Stuff join settings also be set to no replace tracks, but also now it is mandatory to allow RevoCart and common SZS, I think. Next up is just a quick update to 4B to make it kind of more relevant to how it is now. The entirety of Section 5 was also removed just because it's not relevant anymore, and it has been replaced with shout out to Cheesebait because he made the table system, and that's what this was about. Same with Rule 6A, which now tells you to do exclamation mark pens in the chat to see what your penalty range is. Editor Bissell here. I kind of forgot there's also this thing about pens. Normally a penalty, like if it's vehicle related or like character related, it gave you the max amount of pen for your penalty range, which I talk about later in the video. But now what it is you just take the penalty and then you have 15 extra points added onto it. And then also it says exclusively vehicle now, so if it's just like picking the wrong character, you don't get the extra 15 points. So yeah, that's it. Okay, back to the video. This rule change in this section I think might upset a lot of people, but I had to do it. The maximum point threshold for Peppa bets is now 2,000. If you bet more than 2,000 Peppa points, your bet will not count. Also, this isn't really relevant, but we also removed Section 8 where Jamo specifies that he is gay. Now we're here in Discord, and we're going to talk about some ranking system related changes coming to this season. Next up is placements. Most of it is the same, but we made it so retired placement is now 100 points down on first, so pretty rare. And Pro Tac is now 50 points down on first, which is also pretty rare. So the average placement should be Pig Iron, which I think, it's fair. I want to treat Pro Tac and retired like kind of negative MMR in a sense. And yeah, now we're doing that. This next change is also going to be pretty influential on the season, and I'm excited to see it personally. We have the new penalty range modifiers, which if you do not know, a penalty is a random number, and depending on your rank, that is the threshold that you will give yourself the penalty. It is in points. So yeah, as you can see, the thresholds have gotten a lot higher and insanely high for Grandmasters. which already have major reduced gains compared to last season. So I really think it's going to be super chaotic in the long run, and the season might never end, and we might have to do something about that. But yeah, also speaking of season end, the way for it to end is way different. We've never done this before. It is between all Peppa Master and Grandmaster players. Their combined Peppa points has to equal 75,000. So that could be one person that's way gone in first, or that could be multiple people who are closer to, I guess, the border of the rank. There is also one more thing I want to talk about in regards to the new season. This is, well, just like what you just listened to, this is also not going to be on the update log if you decide to read it in text. Basically what we're doing is, obviously we have the 50 new formats for this season and a bunch of new reroll formats as well. But there are two major things that I want to make people aware of. One, the Peppa help command. This is not quite done yet, but when you type Peppa help, it'll give you a list of every single command that you can type and basically what you can do. That's just always been a thing, but I've never seen anybody use it. Next up, a very big new change in this season that I am very excited for and have put a lot of work into making happen is the new FSR commands. It's FSR stands for format specific rules, and every single format has an FSR command, FSR, and then just the number of the format, and it'll tell you the exact rules of the format. Most of them are pretty simple, but some formats are more complicated and need an entire rule set to explain them. So yeah, those are going to come in super handy, so remember those as well. Yeah, that's about it for this update video. It's probably going to be a bit longer than I want it to be, but I did just want to do that because I know some people don't like reading, and I know some people don't read, and it's very evident when they play the game and then do not do the things, which, you know, as the guy designing it, can annoy me sometimes, but I also get it because I am very much that person in other people's spaces, so I don't feel bad. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I enjoy season 9, even though just enjoy it. Okay, bye.